Hello, hello, everyone. So today we are talking advanced things. I'm very excited. I know we've gone through a lot of training together. We did some, why Bold Trail, talking about a lot of the benefits of Bold Trail. We know that I'm a big fan of Bold Trail, obviously, and a lot of the automation and things that it does for you. We also talked about getting started, right? How do we label and categorize our contacts? What are some daily best practices? We went to our next level training where we talked about creating different templates. So saving yourself time and saving yourself keystrokes, how to create emails and text templates. Also talked about the smart assistant in there. I am a huge fan of the smart assistant because even though I talk for a living, there are some moments when I just like get tongue tied and I know what I'm trying to say, but a little bit of help to say it the best way is super helpful. And Smart Assistant is really, really good with that. We also went through some easy wins in that next level training, things like playbooks, which is your basically your checklist for things like gathering your sphere of influence, as well as promoting listings. I know I talked about that one. And we've talked about some CRM marketing. So hopefully by now we know what a CRM is. It's your customer relationship management tool. So there's lots of ways to leverage things like behavioral alerts, which I love. Behavioral alerts are a great way for you to know when someone might need a little bit of extra attention, right? When they go kind of from that just looking phase into being a little bit more serious. So you are alerted as well as they get communicated with right away because we want to strike while the iron is hot. And then in our advanced CRM marketing, so that's what we're kind of going to cover today, we are going to talk about a couple different things. So we're going to talk about appointments. Appointments is a feature in Bold Trail that I am a big fan of. We all know the goal is to make appointments, and then the goal is to keep those appointments and then follow up with people after those appointments. So there's a lot of things in Bold Trail that can help you with that specific objective. We're also going to do a quick introduction to the marketplace, just one specific product, one of our frequent flyers, one of our most popular products we're going to talk about there. The marketplace is where you can go to pay our team or our affiliates to do things for you. So things like following up with your contacts, creating newsletters, generating leads, which is one we're going to talk about today. So the marketplace is where you go to, I say, pay experts to leverage their expertise. Like that's the kind of thing that you're going to do in the marketplace. And last but certainly not least, we are going to go deep into smart campaigns. Oops, pushing some buttons over there. So we're going to go deep into the marketplace. So the marketplace is where you can, excuse me, we're going to go deep. That red laser threw me off. So we are going to go deep into smart campaigns. Smart campaigns are where you automate the follow-up based on the different, our default ones are all based on the categories of your leads. So my new leads who are buyers, they have one follow-up system. My new leads who are sellers, they have a different follow-up system. My open house leads, they have a third follow-up system, right? Because we have different ways that we want to nurture and care for these people. So we are going to talk about creating custom smart campaigns and also a little bit about how to edit the ones that are there. So that way, if you do want to make changes to what's there, you definitely can. I fully support that. Love that. So before we dive into the new stuff, just one quick reminder for us. Oh, I don't know how I turned on that laser. There we go. Okay. So one quick reminder for us is hashtags, right? We know them, we love them, we've seen them before. Just a reminder that they are designed to help us organize our contacts. That's one thing that they do. You do have an unlimited number of hashtags, so you can have extensive custom grouping. So you can have friends, and then you can have friends and family, and you can have just looking, and you can have credit repair and hashtag needs a lender. You can have so many hashtags, it's entirely up to you. And bonus is that hashtags, not only do they allow you to group, to make like tailored follow-up, but you can also utilize them to trigger smart campaigns, which we're going to talk about today. So those hashtags, love them. You can find them within each contact record. Each contact record has all the hashtags attached to that specific person. So we see that right there. So that one way we can add hashtags is just right in there in the contact record. However, there are a lot of ways to add hashtags if you want. And again, you make your own category. They can trigger actions. You can see lots of examples all over the screen right here. So one way to add them is manually. You can also add them like anytime you're taking notes. And there are also a lot of ways within BoldTrail to automatically add hashtags. And one thing I'm going to show you today is even how you can automatically remove hashtags as part of your smart campaign. So that's cool. All right. Appointments. So when we are going for appointments, right? That's one of our big goals is to get in front of people, get an appointment. Right. So a couple strategies in my research. Quick question. How many of you have ever had an appointment not show up? Right. And so some strategies for obtaining the appointment, make sure you have timely scheduling, right? So you have some time available soon, right? Also, make sure that you give them a couple options. I personally really like the strategy instead of saying, yeah, when is good for you? Right. I like to take a little bit more control of my schedule. And I like to say things like, okay, great. Does morning or afternoon work better for you? Because if they say afternoon, I know that I'm available today and Friday, but not on Thursday. So it allows me to still have more control while offering them lots of options. So it feels like they're in control too. So I like that. And then utilizing technology. So, as you add appointments into BoldTrail, which I'm going to show you how to do, you can tell them, okay, I'm going to have my automated assistant send you a reminder. Right. So it helps them remember. It also gives them a little poke. It's also going to help you organize yourself. So appointments in BoldTrail. Let's look at it. So in BoldTrail, there we go. In BoldTrail, the first thing that you want to do to get the most out of appointments, this is like an optional thing, but I definitely recommend that you do it, is you want to sync in your calendar. You can only sync in Google or Microsoft Outlook. So apologies if you use something else, but I do recommend that you do that. So up in that top bar, we are going to look at that little envelope. When we click on that envelope, it's going to give us the option to sync in our Gmail or sync in our Microsoft Outlook. Okay. Now you can only pick one. So you do want to think about what you're using most often. Then you're going to select your account. So you can see here that I have multiple accounts that I could pick from, but I do need to pick the one that I put most of my things on. Oh, and then that's just going to replay for us. There we go. Okay. So when you do that and you book in your appointment, or when you make it, see, sometimes I get tongue tied. So when you sync in your calendar, that is going to pull in your availability from your calendar, which is really cool because then when you go to make the appointment, it's not going to book over something that you already have. Now, let's get into our live drive before we sync back to hashtags here. And let me share this tab. So what I just showed you was optional but recommended to get the most out of appointments. What you really need to do is set up your profile. So our profile is found in the top right corner. I have my picture there. And in this center section is my profile. Now we are going to stick onto this right-hand side over here. We are going to scroll down past our daily call, task creation, past our offices, past our teams, into appointment availability. So it's going to select your time zone based on the office that you're in, and you can edit this. You can also adjust your time zone, which I think is cool because, especially with you, if you might be associated with an office over here, but you're over here, I do like that you have the ability to get in there and make changes if you need to. For me, this is nice and accurate. So it'll start with a default that looks like these bottom ones, right? So it thinks you're available 24 hours a day. And it certainly might feel like that, but sleep, right? You also have things like your office meetings. So, for example, here on Thursday, my availability doesn't start until, let's say, 11 a.m. Because on Thursday mornings, I have my office meeting, I have my sales meeting, right? Whether that's via Zoom or we get together, whatever it is, maybe it's in EXP world. So I am going to that training, so I'm not available for appointments. Now, I'm definitely not going all the way until midnight, but on Thursdays I do work a little bit later. So I will say like 8:30, just for those people who need like a truly late evening. And what I also like about this is I don't have to do one big time chunk. So let's say on Fridays, I can do Friday morning. I can be ready to rock and roll as early as like 8:30 a.m. But I pick up my kids at noon, right? So I'm available from 8:30 until, let's say, 11:30. Now, if I then, we have like a rotating babysitter, right? Then I can add in that I am re-available at 3 o'clock. And then I go until 5:30. So I like that you can take chunks out of the day if you need to. So you definitely want to do this. You can also add in vacations, right? So if this is normally my availability, but I'm going to add in here this Friday, let's see, it's the 23rd. So on the 26th, I am busy. So just the whole day, I'm going to block that out. And then I also am busy, let's say, I'll just pick a couple days, the 5th through the 8th, right? So you can put in these vacation times. So that way, as you go to set an appointment, it's blocked off for you. So I'm going to save that. Okay. So let's walk this through in reality. In reality, I log into my BoldTrail every day, right? We're logging in every day. And I see here that I have, let's find a phone call. I have, oh, good. I'm supposed to call Kermit. I scheduled that for myself. I haven't done it. So I am going to click on Kermit's. I could complete my call from there. Personally, I like to click on their name and go to their record. That's just like how I like to do it. So I have their whole history here. And now I'm going to call Kermit from here. So I call Kermit. We get on our phone, or I call them, or I use my mobile app, whatever I do. And I talk to Kermit, and I set an appointment. So my follow-up action, I'm going to go ahead and create an appointment here. And I save my call, and there we go. So are we having this appointment? Is it a buyer appointment? Is it a listing appointment? Or is it some kind of custom appointment? Maybe it is a buyer appointment, but we're still at the beginning stages of like figuring out exactly what it is that Kermit and their family is looking for. So I might put buyer, I might put custom. That's okay. Now, our method of meeting, we are going to meet in person. And you can see if you are eagle-eyed, that shifted, right? So in person, I now need a location. If it's on the phone, that location disappears. If it's a virtual appointment, I'll want to pop my Zoom link or my Google Meet or whatever meeting app I use. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to have a phone appointment. And that phone appointment, here's what I really like. Remember that I said I am usually available on Thursdays. And then we look at my start time, and it does go every 5 minutes, but it's going to take out a nice chunk for when I'm not available. So if we look at, let's say August 9th, and look here, I am completely available. But if we try to book an appointment for this Friday, I'm not available until later in the evening, right? So it knows my availability, which I love. So I'm going to put my start time. We are going to talk, let's see, just even later today. So we'll do July. And okay, I'm going to call you around 4:30. And they said, great. So I scroll. Oh, 4:30, I'm not available. See? So we'll do 5:45. And it's a phone call. So maybe like a 10-minute chat. Now, this description is very important because they will see the description. So for this description here, I'm going to say Kermit and Christina meeting for a phone call. And maybe I want Kermit to take a few minutes to look at Pinterest for your dream home. Right? So something like that. What do they have homework that they need to do? Do they need to bring a spouse? What do they need to do? What are we going to talk about on this meeting? This description is a really, really good opportunity to communicate with Kermit things that I want them to do and things that I'm going to do and what this meeting is going to cover. Like they don't know what a buyer appointment is. So I'm going to tell them what that buyer's appointment is. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? And then the subject line, right? Buyer appointment with Christina Hampton phone, because that is what's going to tell, that is what is going to Kermit. So Kermit knows what's going on. You could always change this. So phone call to chat about dream home with Christina H, right? That's me. Now I can also remind them because that is one of the number one reasons why people do not show up to appointments is because they forget, right? Sometimes they forget, but sometimes they really do forget. So this is going to help me remind them. So I'm going to go ahead and set that appointment. And now I can see as I look at Kermit over here on the right, there is my appointment time. I can also, if I hit refresh, one of my favorite things will be added to Kermit, and that is appointment set. Now, personally, I like to add in an additional hashtag for myself. So I might do hashtag appointment July, or I could put 7, whatever, July 23. Right. And I'm going to add that. Oh, it didn't like, because I use the hashtag symbol. Oh my gosh. See, told you sometimes. Okay. So appointment July 23. And there we go. Okay. So when you are utilizing appointments, there's going to be a few different hashtags that add, remove automatically. So we just saw that appointment set gets added automatically. So as soon as you created that appointment was added automatically. Now, when it comes time to the appointment, you go back in and you say whether they attended or they did not attend. And that's going to add either appointment met or appointment not met, depending on what they did, right? So again, this is going to help you organize your contacts and go ahead and take a screenshot of this because when we get into custom smart campaigns, this might be a really good thing to create. Like, okay, if they don't make their appointment, I want to automatically send them a follow-up text and then call them the next day. I don't want to have to think about that. I just want it to happen. So I can create my custom smart campaigns based off hashtags like this, right? Or maybe every time appointment set gets created, I want to send them a automated text. Can't wait to meet with you and chat further about your real estate goals, right? So it's just simple things with smart campaigns that we are taking off our plate, things that are easy to automate. And these are just some good hashtags to utilize for that. So when it comes time, the reason I like to add this second hashtag is because when I go to my contacts, I can then go into my hashtags, right? And I can look for appointment set, right? And these are all people that I have appointments set with. And so, of course, I can click into Hillary and see when that appointment was for. It was for a while ago, right? So that's why I always like to add in a second hashtag that helps me find the date. So that's why I looked at hashtag, and I can look at APP and okay, my appointments, I can look up all of my July appointments if I hashtag it that way. Or this was an appointment. You could do it by week, right? July week 1, July week 2, July week 3. So just another hashtag to help you organize your leads and your contacts. That can be really, really helpful, right? So that maybe Tuesday appointment or something like that. All of those things would be very helpful for helping you track down appointments that you're going to have at some point in the future. And since I do have this synced into my calendar, it will show up on my calendar in the future when I have an appointment. So that's another reason we want to sync that in. So that way, not only is it pulling in things that I have on my calendar, plus the availability that I put in my profile, but the appointment is also going to push out onto my calendar so I can see that all in one nice, convenient place, all right there. So, yeah, cool. So, I love appointments. It's a newer feature. I'm a big, big fan. So, now we are going to transition into smart campaigns. So, quick reminder that a smart campaign is an automated workflow. It's designed to streamline your communication with your contacts, right? So, it's taking things off your plate. Now, most of the smart campaigns that we have are triggered based on status and deal type combinations, right? So we said that my new lead who's a buyer is going to have a different follow up than my new lead who's a seller. And they're going to have a different follow up than someone who I met at an open house, right? So these smart campaigns, again, status. So anytime I change status, that will change the default smart campaign. If you're using our defaults, I just want to put that caveat in there. They're combined with a deal type, right? So again, a buyer who's a new lead is different than a seller who's a new lead. They become a client, that's a different follow-up. You can also trigger them based on hashtags. So like I was mentioning back with my appointments, if I want to utilize hashtag appointment not met and have a certain follow-up, or even appointment met, and I can give myself a task reminder to, hey, send them an email with a summary of your appointment. Simple. Maybe it's something you often forget and you should do. So utilize BoldTrail to remind you to do those things. And then source, right? So that open house smart campaign I keep talking about is triggered based off of source. So when you use our app, our open house app, it triggers its own tailored smart campaign. Quick reminder, you can find the client journey, their status, their hashtags, their source, all within each contact record. Now, what is included in a smart campaign? There are automatically sent emails, automatically sent text messages from your smart number. That you can even schedule a call for yourself as well. There are task reminders and there's automated status changes. So, example, at the end of if someone's a new lead for 30 days, if you're on our default buyer campaign, it will move them to prospect. So, those are things that are super cool. You can also use it to add or remove hashtags. So not only can a hashtag trigger a new smart campaign, but you can also remove or add hashtags in there as well. All right, so these are some more advanced things. Now, smart campaigns, where do you find them? You can find them in a couple places. So I love my handy dandy search bar. That is where I go for everything that I need. And in there, I can search for campaign, but it is also a suggestion down on the bottom because people go there all the time. So we just made it nice and easy to find. If you want to go to the long route, because I kind of like that too, it's under marketing. Marketing is going to be all kinds of outreach. That's where I'm going to find my marketing. And so I'm here and I can scroll down to my smart campaign. And if I click on anywhere in the box or on manage campaigns, then it will open up for me. So couple things. I'm going to break this down back with my slide deck, and then we'll come back in and do our live drive again. Okay, so here are the campaigns, right? And I know it's a little blurry, but I want to give you the overview, and we're going to kind of talk through it, and then, of course, we'll go back in. So in the top left, too far, we have My Campaigns, System Library, and Templates. So My Campaigns, those are the ones that you can turn off and turn on. They are available for you to utilize right now. You can also, if we look at that big section, what's happening here on our left-hand side, we have the name of each campaign. We also have the description of what the campaign does. So here we have our system active buyer. It's the default for buyer leads who have the active status. Simple, right? And continuing on that long bar, it's going to start when their status changes into active lead. Now you can see here that there is a difference between the buyers and the sellers, right? And as I continue on, what is included in this smart campaign? So there is tasks, there are emails, there are status changes. All of that is included in each smart campaign. Last pieces on here, we have always run, the status, and the scope. So always run means, okay, as we go to make some more campaigns, I might have someone on a new lead buyer campaign. And then, or in this case, they would be an active buyer campaign, right? Active buyer. And then I also add hashtag appointment set. And I've made an appointment set smart campaign. Do I want them on both? Should this second campaign, should this always run with the first campaign, or do we want only one of them to attach? Right? So if I want more than one, then always run will be yes. And if I only want the one, then always run will be no. Status is whether or not this campaign is running and you can add people to it. So is it off? Is it on? Can I use it? Let's find out. And last but not least is scope. Scope is very important because it's who actually owns this smart campaign, who can edit this campaign. So it might be owned by the company, it might be owned by an office or a team or a user, and you are the user. So if you want to be able to edit something, you'll want to make a user smart campaign, which I'll show you how to do. Okay, so back to our BoldTrail platform. Okay, so there's my campaigns, which are the campaigns that I can actively use. And then there's the system library where I get to go shopping for free. So some examples on here are I personally like to add a hashtag as people are moving from one status to another. So for example, if we look at the new lead buyer campaign, which we've got a lot of different names for. I'm going to go to my system library and just get a clean copy. So if I go to my system library and I type in new lead, I'm going to have a lot of different options here. The one that I'm looking for, these system defaults, these are our most up-to-date smart campaigns for each status. So we reinvent and update these over time as we get different feedback from users like you. And so these are the newest ones, the ones that say system in all caps those are the new ones. So system default buyer. Now, if I just want to look at what it says, I can click on it, but I'm going to go ahead and go all the way to the right over here, and I'm going to add that into my campaigns. Let's add that to my library. I want to be able to utilize it. And as I do that, there we go. I clicked it too many times. Now I'm going to have a couple. So I go back into my campaigns. I'm just going to give it a refresh. Refresh. I don't know. Okay, so here's my campaigns, and I'm going to look again for new lead. And, oh, it didn't want to appear. That's okay. So I've got this. Let's try that again. I might need to wait a second. It is usually pretty darn quick. Let's try system default. There they all are. Okay, so I've got a couple pages even. There we go. There's all the ones. So I've got this system default buyer. Okay, its description, it's the default for new buyer leads. It starts when the status is new. It's for my buyers. The methods of or channels of communication, there's going to be a status change. There's going to be a scheduled call for me. There's going to be emails sent for me, tasks created for me, and text messages sent. So there's 21 total touches in this entire process. Now, this end piece, remember, that's like the most important part when it comes to actually utilizing these smart campaigns, because remember that we need it to, I'll share this tab. There we go. We need the status to be on or we can't utilize this. So back into BoldTrail, looking at this, I cannot utilize it. It is also at the scope of the user, which means I can make changes and edits. So if I click on this campaign, now that I own it, so I created this, now I can make changes. Now, we're not going to go fully into this smart campaign today because we've done that on some other sessions, but I do just want to show you this new lead. There's a lot of actions on here. So when I'm editing my smart campaigns, there's two things I always do. One, I always edit the first communication of each form. So there's a text here, there's an email here. Personally, I always go in and edit those. So that way it helps me stand out from any other agent they may have talked to. So I'm going to look at this text here and I'm going to edit this. So it's a great text. There's nothing wrong with this text. It's just that I want to be different than somebody else. So I can utilize all the templates that I've previously created. So maybe I've already made like a first text. Oh, I have. I can see I've done this a couple times. So I'm just going to click one, right? And so I can use a template that I've already made, or let's say that I haven't made a template that I want. I can just make one here. So let me cancel this. Go back into editing. And this is the default buyer first text. And I like most of this, right? I saw that you're browsing real estate listings. Are you actively shopping for a specific type of property, or are you looking for something particular? All right, so maybe I want to add, I don't know, this is a good one. So maybe I'm going to add a catchphrase. Or maybe I'm going to let them know, please save this number, and it's your smart number for future real estate help. Smiley face. And so I've made a new template. So this will now be my new lead buyer first text. I made it, so I'm going to put my initials. That's how I could easily find all the ones I made before. And I still want this to go immediately, or honestly, I like to give our texts just like a little bit of a delay because then it feels a little bit more real. So I like to have it go like just in 1 minute, like just a teeny bit of a delay. And so I'm going to save that. So now that's the first text message, but I also edit the first email just so it sounds more like me and that I stand out from anyone else, because online leads tend to go from anywhere to like 7 to 12 different platforms. If one of those other agents are also using BoldTrail, I want to stand out. So I'm going to edit my email too. Talks about what's on the wish list. I love that. That's great. So, for example, I'm your local real estate agent, so Christina Hampton, with my office name. Maybe I don't want to use the merge tag of the office name that I'm associated with in my BoldTrail account. So maybe I'm going to say with Smith Realty. So I'm just going to type it in, and that, and then are you looking to send? I'm going to send some properties your way, which is great because the system does that automatically. You don't have to worry about that. And then let me know what's on your wish list. And maybe I want to, right, again, these are good. So I might use ChatGPT or Smart Assistant to help me think of something new. I want it to be like it gets the point across. Are you thinking about making a move? The best place to start is to get an idea of what's out there. I'm going to send some properties your way. Can you let me know what's on your wish list? So this is a great email. It is. I just like to stand out a little bit. So again, I'm going to add my catchphrase. I might put a link to my website. I might give them a link to sign up for a market report. I might do all kinds of things. And so then, of course, I do a new email. And I save that too. So when I'm editing smart campaigns that exist, I edit the first point of communication, so text and email. And then the last thing I do, I go down to the bottom and I make sure that there's an end to my campaign. So what I mean by that is when the 28 days of high intensity reach out for my new leads has come to a close, this is going to move them to prospect. I like to add in a hashtag before that happens. So if someone works all the way down this smart campaign and they don't respond to me, they are going to wind up, they will continue all the way down into prospects. However, if they did respond to me at some point in time, they will have triggered a behavioral alert, and that will automatically move them to active, right? So if you were on our CRM marketing training, you will have seen that live. Kelly and Brett did an excellent job of talking through that process. So if someone responds to this email or to these text messages, then it is going to automatically move them into the active lead status. So here we go. Right? So behavioral alerts, behavioral automation. If someone does go and responds to you as a new lead or a prospect, it moves them into active. So when we are in BoldTrail over here, if they respond to this text, it moves them to active. If they don't, no problem. If they answer this phone call, it moves them to active. If not, no problem. So if we've gone almost 30 days of no communication, it's going to move them into prospects. My prospects are people that I think will do business with me. They are going to be for sale by owners. They are going to be sellers that have told me they need to wait a year before they list. They are going to be buyers that are in a credit repair program, right? They are going to be my open house leads. So there's a whole bunch of people in my prospects. So I want to be able to easily sort that these are why they're in my prospects. So I am going to add an action here, and I'm going to add in a add in a hashtag, add a tag. So I go on to add a tag, and I'm going to add hashtag cold lead or non-responsive new lead, right? That's very clear. If I see this on someone, I know they are a prospect because they were a new lead that never responded to me. So this is add non-responsive hashtag. And we do not want to run this immediately. We want to go all the way through our smart campaign. So we're going to go to day 29 and add that in. Right? So on day 28, we send one more text message. The next day they don't respond, the system will add a hashtag. And then that way, when they go into prospect, I'm going to know why they're a prospect. So my last step is to turn this campaign active, AKA turn it on. So now when a new lead enters my system, they will go onto this smart campaign, they will follow all of this, and then they will wind up here with this hashtag in my prospects. So that is customizing and personalizing the campaigns that already exist and are already there. Before we go into our next section, I do want to one quick reminder as we talk about what is in the marketplace. So the marketplace can be found on the left-hand side. I'm really zoomed in, so for me it's under more. But the marketplace is where we pay experts to do things for us. So there are things to help us get new leads. There are products to help us engage with our contacts, products to help us promote our listing, products to further customize our website, coaching and assistance. There's all kinds of stuff, right? We've got a lot of products in here. So one of our most popular products, maybe even our most popular product, is this property boost. So I can see this under get leads, right? Again, we have a lot of things in here, or promote a listing, either way. And so property boost is going to advertise a listing, right? That seems pretty straightforward. So it's going to advertise this listing, and it is going to also add hashtags. So each property boost is going to come with hashtag property boost. Every single property boost that you do is going to come with that hashtag. Additionally, it comes with one more hashtag. So it's going to come with hashtag PB for property boost, and then it has the first 15 address characters. So it's going to be hashtag property boost and hashtag PB123 Main Street, MAINSTREET. Yep, that would work. So 15. So hashtag property boost and hashtag PB123 Main Street. So it makes it really easy for you to track down these leads, right? So I can look for all my property boost leads, and I can look for all my property boost leads based on a specific address. So property boost is super cool. There's a lot of different price points for you to pick and choose from, depending on what fits into your budget. Okay. So let's put it all together. Back in BoldTrail, let's say that I have a listing or a listing that I want to promote, and I purchase my property boost. So that lead, the property boost goes out onto Facebook. I even get to pick my property. I get to pick the image I'm going to use. I get to pick my ad length and time. So as those leads come into BoldTrail, they would naturally go onto that new lead smart campaign, right? So default buyer. So, I have so many. I need to clear this out. But so they would naturally fall onto this new lead buyer smart campaign that I created and is on, active, and running. So let's say that I wanted to give them something specific based on that property boost, right? So I might come in here and say, I want to create a new campaign. And in this new campaign, it is going to start when The hashtag is PB123 Main Street. Okay, so I have that hashtag in here. So as a lead gets this hashtag added to them, I want them to be on this smart campaign. I want this to always run because this is a specific campaign. Now I can decide this is going to be buyers, so that totally makes sense. And this is going to be specific, so not a default, so specific, or I'm going to do property boost 123 Main Street campaign and add my initials so I know it's mine. And this is going to be a short thank you and give specific information about 123 Main Street. And next. So now I can come in and let's say I'm going to open this listings tab just to help myself out. So let's find that property boost campaign that I just made. Oh, see, and I forgot what I call things, which is why I give them initials. And I need to clean out my demo account. There we go. PB123 Main Street campaign. So I click on that. So I already know that they're going to get a text message in like 1 or 2 minutes, and they're going to get an email in like 5 hours. So I might also want to come in here and remind them why they know me, right? So I'm going to add an action and I'm going to send them an email and I'm going to thank them specifically for looking at a specific property. So thank you for looking at 123 Main Street. And here's where I can get specific, right? I just love that kitchen backsplash. What was your favorite feature? Need a reminder? Check it out here, out on my website. And then, so I have 123 Main Street, aka 7 Scott Drive. I'm just going to pick a property. And I have in here the ability to grab a direct link to this property on my website. So I'm going to copy that link, go back. Oh, sorry, forgot to share. So I was in the listing section and I picked a property. And in here, I have the ability to just copy this link. It goes directly to my website. And I'm just going to put that link right here. I can do a squeeze page if you want to get advanced. I could absolutely do a squeeze page, but for ease of use, I'm just going to put this in here. So thank you for checking, or thank you for looking at, I don't know, it looks a little bit better, looking at 123 Main Street. And this will be Property Boost, Smart Campaign, Email 1. And I want this to go out from me to the contact, And I might run it immediately. I might let it go after that email that goes at 5 hours. I'm probably going to do sure, we'll just do 7 hours. Just gonna pick a time. And I can save that change right here. And then last but not least, I turn that on. So that's one way to make a tailored smart campaign. Another way, so I don't have to start from scratch because nobody wants to start from scratch, is I take that default buyer campaign. So here we go, the system default buyer. And when I open it up, it's all here for me, but I could clone the campaign, right? So I don't know if you saw my wheels turning. I was trying to think about when that email should go that's specific to that specific to that property boost lead. So instead of trying to remember all of that, I can just come here to the new lead campaign and make a clone. Now, I don't want this to start when it's a new lead, or maybe I do want it to be a new lead, but I'm going to also add a second trigger. So that way, when I add that hashtag of property boost 123 Main Street, now this is going to be tailored for them. So my new leads with 123 Main Street will get this campaign. We're just going to kind of walk through. So instead of system default, this is now going to be property boost, new lead buyer campaign, and follow up for new lead buyers from property boost on 123 Main Street. I might also put last edited, because I like to keep track of stuff like that too. When's the last time I edited things? And now you can see it's like pretty much the same thing. I still have that hashtag at the end because I just cloned and copied what I have. I'm still going to have my version of the email and the text. So instead, I might update this email and thank them specifically for looking at 123 Main Street. Right? So now I can make this tailored to what they're interested in. I might send them on day like 3 or day 4, I might send them a list of similar properties. You don't even have to guess. In BoldTrail, right, I looked at 7 Scott Drive. I grabbed the direct link, but there's this really cool feature of like similar listings and nearby listings. So I don't even have to guess what's nearby or what's similar. Like BoldTrail does all that work for me. So I could send them this list of listings, which is so cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to tailor your follow-up and make it specific to where your leads came from. You could also, again, go through making a smart campaign for those appointment hashtags, right? So for example, I am going to come in here and just add a simple campaign when hashtag is appointment not met. I want this to always run no matter what else is going. I want it to go for everybody. Appointment not met. Follow up. Last edited 7/23. And there it is. And I can just add a quick text message. Hey, sorry, we were unable to connect. What is a good day for you to meet up in the future? So smart campaigns can be a really, really, really cool way for you to take keystrokes off your plate, right? Cool. Well, I had a lot of fun today with you all. I hope you all had some fun with me as well. We covered a lot of advanced features today. We talked about appointments. We talked about hashtags, triggering smart campaigns, customizing smart campaigns, making your own from scratch. So lots and lots of good stuff. We do have, reminder, this survey from EXP, and this is going to they are compiling this information for your CRM of choice. So thank you all for coming today to this advanced CRM marketing. It was a lot of fun to talk about some more advanced items. Thank you very much, and I'll see you online.